So, hello. So, I'm using the git bash, which is basically a command line. And when you install Git on Windows, you should have the option to check install git bash as well. And you should check that. You can use the basic command line as well, but I don't like it. And I think you don't like it as well because it's more complicated in my opinion. So, if you install the git bash and you have it installed, you can right click in every folder and use this git bash here. This opens up the console in the respective directory. And now you can, this is a console based on, or command line based on Linux or Linux. I don't know how you say that in English. And so it allows Unix commands like ls, for example, for showing the directory, etc. So now I'm going to show you the first examples on the empty repository, one I just created. So I created an empty folder called API Team 2, and what I'm doing here is I'm using the git init command to initialize an empty repository. And now I need to go to the GitLab, to the competeLeague team, and now I have the repositories here, and I'm going to use the where's it? The entity thing. This is the repository of the API 2 team. I think this is what Greg is currently working on, but it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to project and then clone this. Oh no, here's the link. I'm going to make this to HTTPS and double click this link, or just copy this to clipboard. And then I'm going to do the command git remote add, and now the name, which I'm always calling the repositories competeLeague, and then I'm going to paste in whatever I'm just copied, and then I hit enter, and then I have this added to my remote repositories, which I can see like this, or with this command I can even see the URL. And now I can issue basic commands. Like now I can do git pull from my remote repository, which is competeLeague, and I need to specify to tell him which branch I want to pull from, and in this case I want to pull from the master branch. Now, since this is a private repository, I need to enter my username and my password for GitLab. And now it checks whether or not I'm allowed to pull from that repository, and now it's pulling. So now if I look here, I see I've got the code, whatever this is. Okay, now switching over to the lol repository. So I'm doing git bash here again. And now let's go over the most important commands. So you already saw git pull, but I'm going to do that in a second again. So with git status, you get a list of all the files that are currently in the git and which are not committed. So you can see I've got 4 modified files here, which basically means they are like dirty. So I made changes to them. You can also shorten this command with the -s tag, and then you get a shorter list, which is better if you modified a lot of files. Now you can do the git add -A command, which adds those files to another stage called called I don't know how it's called. Whatever. I think they are now staged. And if a file is staged, it means it's ready to commit. And you do a commit by typing git commit -message -m, and then you just do those single line quotes, and in here you type your commit message, like this is my commit message. All right, then you hit enter, and if I do now git status, you see there's nothing to commit. There's the working directory is clean, so no modified files. You can see my Atom is also marking them as standard files now, as not dirty files. And now I can push that. So and pushing is exactly the same as pulling. Instead of pull, we just type push instead of pull, and then remote. However I named the remote, which is competeLeague again, and then I specify the local branch, which is called def in my case. Then I do a colon, and I'll do the remote branch, which is called def as well. So if I go to the competeLeague lol team and I go to repository, then I can see the branches, right? So I want to push to the def branch. So I'll do local branch is called def, and the remote branch is called def as well. So I do def colon def. I'm not going to push this now since I don't know what I actually committed here, and we don't want random code on the repository. So in the if you go to the project for competeLeague.ui.lol team, you see the HTTPS link here. So what you want to do is you want to type git remote at competeLeague, and then you want to add this, right? So I'm not going to do that now because I already did that. So, and this will show up if I type this command again, and then you see my repository here. So this is really all the magic, and it's really straightforward. So this is for adding, checking the status, committing, pushing, and pulling. Now, whatever something else you want to do is branching. So if you type git branch, you'll see a list of all my branches I have locally, right? And if you do git branch -v, you'll get more information. This is the last commit number, and this is the last commit message. And you can switch between branches by typing git checkout and then the branch name. For example, if I want to check out the master, it switches to the master. So if I go now into my code, it will look quite a lot different because the master is right behind the def branch. And now I'm going back to, and now I can't do this since sometimes you can't switch branches because the editor is still open, okay? So you want to close that because sometimes it's getting confused because the files are getting changed, right under his hands or its hands. So you want to close all the editors because they get sometimes confused if you switch branches and there are too many file changes, like in this case. If you want to create a new branch, you do git checkout -b and then whatever you want to call the branch. Like this is the new branch called Protroid, okay, def Protroid. And now I am on the branch. And what this will do is it will create a new branch, which is an exact copy of the branch you are doing this from. So now I can do changes here, type like I made changes. I do, oh, actually let's do that. Let's open up this in Atom. And now let's commit a comment or something, okay? So let's save this for a moment here. I'll go to the account component HTML, go to the very top right, and I'll do a comment here which says Protroid is so cool. Okay. And now I'll do git status. You'll see I modified this, and then I do git add -1 and -a, and I'll do commit Protroid commit. All right, so now you see this file is committed, the change is committed, And now if I do git branch minus v, you'll see this one is now on Protroid commit, and this is my commit message. Now if I go to git checkout def again, you see this is gone. And now I want to merge this commit, like my new feature, I want to merge it into the def branch. What I'll do is I'll type git. You have to always be in the branch you want to merge into. So you see I switched to the def branch, and now I'll type git merge and just type the branch I want to merge from. So I want to merge def Protroid into def, right? So I'll do that. You see the changes, and you see the comment is here. Sometimes there are merge conflicts, then it will say merging here. And then there are those triangle brackets in this direction and in that direction, and they will mark a head section and the commit section. And this just means that Git wasn't able to merge automatically. And that you have, and in that case, you just have to take a look at the files, make sure that all these are gone, and correct the code the way you want it to, and then commit again, like git add minus a and git commit, and then you've got the merge conflict resolved. So that's basically it. And I hope this helped you. And yeah, if you have more questions, just go ahead and ask.